Buenos dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a motherfucking ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye-ya. Bye-ya. Yes, indubitably, and as you can tell by that thumbnail right there, no way, Jose. We're going to get straight into it. In a menudo style, a direct fashion. I'm not playing today. I know you're not. You ain't got the time. But, ¿sabes qué? The wind's blowing. So sit down here. Let's get straight to it, indubitably. Right now, trip out. As you can tell by that thumbnail, right then and there, the one that you're looking at, you see 3 different groups. These are the dominant groups. Now, there's a big 4, okay? Everyone knows there's a big 4. And no disrespect to my Africano brothers, man. They stay pushing. They're doing their thing. But I don't think this right here, what's going on in CDC and the California Department of Corrections, actually really affects them. So I was for the most part, they're just going to lean on back and let everyone do their thing. Now, hell no. On power rule. That's the essays, right? Let the essays do their thing. But you see the Norteño group, the Sureño group, as well as the white boys. You always got to sprinkle them in for flavor. You know what I mean? They're like fucking sal y pepper. You know what I mean? Yes, we're here. The dream team is here. Yes. And we're talking about what's going to happen. What's going to happen if these 3 groups who have been enemies for several decades, right, actually click up? Because it's happening. Oh, it's happening right before our motherfucking lentes. It is definitely happening. They're all coming together as one, not necessarily one super group, but they're coming together because they have a common enemy. The common enemy being the non-actives, the non-active Northerners, the non-active Southerners, the non-active whites. These are the enemy now for any active general population inmate. Okay, this is something I wanted to speak on because it just blows my motherfucking mentality up at the Pacific, right? To be specific. Alrighty, little Rob. It blows my mentality because I never thought I'd see it happen. But it happened the other day in Salinas Valley. When the Nueva Flores and the Bulldogs rushed the Norteño, the Sureño, and the white guy, guess what happened? They all banded together for power, like La Onda, right? They had to come together. They weren't shining shoes, homes. They were throwing fists. And the reason being that, like I said, it is now a have and have not world, okay? The GPs definitely be having and the non-actives be having not, right? The SNYers. I call them the SNYers, that's the nuclica. And that's just the way it is. But let's talk about tradition. Let's talk about tradition. Let's talk about historia. Let's talk about history, gente. And how it's a great thing, but it's actually a bad thing and how it had to be formulated. This plot, this plan, this coming together of sorts. So, okay, watch out. Put your antennas up, sit on down, and listen to the gun spit some knowledge you can't get in college. The white guys. Okay, this is a group that for throughout the history, for years, right, have always rocked on their own narrative, have always been founded on the factums along those racial lines. They've always had that push. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Woods, a lot of them on the calles, sabes que they were getting a mamones con un pinche black hyena. They weren't even tripping, man. They weren't really into that. But sabes que when they get incarcerated, especially in the California Department of Corrections, the political makeup of their group says, survey says, do not have a black hyena, right? They're not allowed to fraternize with the Africanos, right? And of course, it's a black and white thing, man. It goes back to the fucking 30s and 40s and 50s on my to ships and fucking the Moors and whatever history you want to put into it. I've read the history, man. The interpretation of it is vague. But I will say this, it definitely happened. There's definitely been an animosity brewing between the whites and the blacks for several years. Now, I've said it myself. I've never seen them get off in melees. I've never seen, like you would think, like the movies, the black and white issues springing up all the time. Because if it went down, oh, it would go down, right? But the white boys have always rocked the Woods, man. In respects to them, Vatos, they're vicious group. They have always rocked on their own and did their thing. Now, of course, they had a loose alliance. You know, a deal with the devil. Sounds good. They had a loose alliance with the Southsiders. Yeah, that's known. Do they back the Southsiders on every play? Charlie. Do the Southsiders back them on every play? Charlie, man. I've been on yardas where the Southsiders and the white boys actually got into it and got off on each other. Melees. Oh my, pegadas y todo. In a menudo style, I mean, in a motherfucker. There was fucking hominy. Oh yes, there was hominy everywhere. Patas de puerco all sliding across that yarda. They were getting down, right? So they've always been a group on their own that have held their own. Now, a lot of people like to think, oh man, whatever the Southsiders do, if it jumps off, the whites always got their back. In some cases, yeah, they will have their back because they have a common enemy. So they strap up together to go out on the yarda and handle it. Of course, in a lot of the hoyos, they function together as far as, within these cages doing group workouts. You've seen it in the movie Shot Caller. Southgate Woods and Southsiders, just get it. You know what I mean? Whoa, right? They were in there getting it. But for the most part, man, they're their own group. They answer to who they have to answer to. They have their big homies who they answer to. We're not going to sit here and talk about those organizations, those prison organizations. Everybody knows what time it is. If you're a white boy, man, you will be embraced and you will fall under that umbrella. And that's it, plain and simple, period. You have no choice. It's either that or give mamones to everyone on the yarda straight up. You're going to pay or you're going to play. One or the other. Now, trip out. The other group, the Southsiders. I ain't even got to speak. Shit. I ain't even got to say nothing. You guys already know where they stand and how they stand. They're a tightly knitted group of numbers. Okay, they have a lot of numbers. The power is in numbers. If you have the numbers on that yarda, if you're solid, the solidarity will speak for itself. The canalismo will speak for itself. These vatos from down south are a very tenacious and vicious group. They do not play. All their rules and regulations, and I'm not going to sit here and get into them, but I will tell you, man, they are very up to par in their thinking. I've talked to a lot of Surenos, Southsiders, and yes, there is a big fucking difference. It's a misconception when people are like, hey, that vatos are not Charlie Holmes. He's not a Sureno. He's merely a Southsider or a resident. A Southsider is someone who's out there on the calles from a street gang. He's representing the 13. He's a Southsider, Holmes. You know what I mean? Showing his loyalty and his motherfucking love for them letters, man. The motherfucking Sureno is a soldado that is striving to be somebody. That's it, plain and simple, period, in a nutshell, man. If you don't know, now you know. So there is a big difference there. But they do run together in prison. Okay, don't get the game fucked up. And they are a dangerous group that has been handling their business for a long time. Very actively on these general population yards. They have a lot of yarda sewed up. And to be perfectly blunt and to be perfectly real with you, they got the majority of the yards in California sewed up that are still general population. That's just the way it's always going to be, and it's the way it's been. Now, of course, you have the Nortenos, to which I was from rocking. Oh, so you got to rock it, don't stop. You got to rock it, don't. Shit, we didn't stop. We couldn't stop. We wouldn't stop, man. It was forever forward with our strive. The Nortenos are a group. There's not many in numbers, but what we don't have in numbers, homes, we make up for with cora, right? With heart. I will never knock the Norteño cause because I know the cause is a true, real one. The belief system behind that cause was founded on solidarity, on motherfucking canalismo, on real righteous motherfuckers, right? That's a fact. You know what I mean? That's a motherfucking fact, So I got nothing but love for the Norteño cause and the Norteño movement. But nowadays, what's happening? It's a fucking hurricane blowing. I see the train coming. It's coming around the bend. Yeah, the train is coming around the bend. The CDC has decided to integrate everyone. People that are of degenerate status, meaning they're on SNY yards, or they're there for their own reasons. They rolled it up. Yay, they tuna tacos and did whatever they chose to do. Now it's coming to a head. Now they're actually being placed on non-designated yards together. Okay, so these vatos have to band together for power, right? Why? And I'm going to explain to you. It's a numbers game. See, in prison, it's all about numbers. Now, if you're a righteous motherfucker soldado and you're in there knocking heads, man, and you're doing your thing, of course, you could take 2, 3, 4 motherfuckers. You can't take 32 on power. You can't take 32. Nobody can. But you can definitely do your thing. Okay, but numbers, the people with the most numbers, irregardless of what you think, man, are always going to have the upper hand. The reason being is, you can't. Sasuke, you can step on a few cucarachas, but there's always going to be more that are falling from the ceiling. Sasuke, I've been in a house like that. Sasuke, I went to this chick's house. Just a little side note. Fucking cucarachas were falling from the ceiling. I was like this. Sasuke, I was trying to hit it. And I was like you know what I mean? And it was ugly. You know what I mean? When a cucaracha crawled across my lip, it was at that point I knew I done fucked up. On Pyru, I got out of there. Now, Trip, anyway, so, you just can't beat numbers, man. Numbers are always going to outlast. They come in waves. So right now, the majority in California is SNY. They have the numbers. Okay? Now, let's not get it twisted. These three groups are not coming together to sing kumbaya, sit around a campfire, and tell old stories about killing each other. That is not what's going on here. It's a necessity. Okay? It's normal to do something out of necessity, not out of willingness because you want to do it, because you necessarily have to do it. And right now, there's a big influx of SNYers that are hitting yards and vice versa, actives that are hitting their yards, or they're just being placed on one yard and told, are you not entertained, right? It's like the Coliseum in Rome. Vatos are going to get it. You know what I mean? You're going to have fucking Nortenos there with big old bone crushers. You're going to have fucking Northern Riders there with little pico de gallos. You're going to have fucking white boys there with balls and chains. And you're going to have Surenos there watching these babosos killing each other, right? So they can come in, swoop in, and take the whole hen house. That's usually how it goes. But this time it's war. This time it's guerra, okay? This time, these three groups, after all these years of toiling in the soil, after all these years of animosity, are forced, not even have to, but are kind of forced to reconcile their differences, to leave things better left unsaid, and to come together to strive to maintain these general population yards and to strive and maintain their dignity and to which they've been struggling for, you know, or it will fall by the wayside. Now, I know vatos are sitting here like, Charlie Gun, it will never end. The Sur, the Norte, the fucking white power, this shit would never end. And you know what? I totally agree. I don't think it ever will. Everybody in their heart believes in their true beliefs and what they believe in. But I will tell you this, so it's going to be hard. Oh, it's going to be rough. What you're going to have is going to have a lot of individuals on both sides, man, that ain't feeling this whole war. They ain't feeling this whole administration move. And they're going to be falling off. More vatos are going to fall off, not because they're scared, not because they don't want to get busy, not because they don't want to use the pico de gallo, you know what I mean? Con un little cilantro y todo cebolla. No, not that. In a menudo style, it's because they don't want more tiempo. They don't want to be stretched out, maxed out. They don't want to catch a body. They don't want to be mozzie. They don't want to go body for body, body for body. Pero he's not locked up. You know what I mean? Shower once in a while. Trip. They don't want to do that. Okay? So a lot of people are going to fall off the wayside. There's going to be a lot more. And what does that do? It increases numbers on the other side. Now they have more soldados. But if they didn't want to get down over there, why are they going to get down over here? Because it's easier to manipulate over there. See, they can manipulate youngsters and people that have never been anywhere to be on frontline status and to be on the forefront. Either way, it's a disaster ready to happen. It's a disaster. But these three groups are forced. Their hand has been forced to come together. And quite contrary to what people believe, they are. They are not necessarily, hey, we're all fucking one group now. We're up under these certain individuals and this is how it's going to be. No, they're doing it out of necessity. Like I just said, man, they're coming together to formulate a plot and a plan and a strategic move to make it happen. Now, of course, the Pisces will come in too. Yippee-yi-yo, yippee-yi-yay, gonna bump somebody's baby. They're going to come through and do what they have to do as well. And of course, the Africanos, like I said, man, let the essays do their thing. Now, of course, how does it work out if an Africano degenerate? Because there are SNY Africanos that said, "Nah, I'm not trying to play that Crip and Blood, Kumi shit, man. I'm just gonna bounce over here and play a little basketball." So let's get Ja Morant, right? They're over there trying to be Ja, and then they see an Africano from their neighborhood, you know, a Crip or a Blood, someone of good standing, man, that ain't feeling that rhythm, ain't feeling the way that they've been working out over there, going pinchy chomos, right? I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. He's probably going to get moved on. There's probably going to be an icky, sticky situation, man. Either that or he's going to get a motherfucking big old hug and, damn, I ain't seen you in a long time, man. Where you been on Pyro? Where you been, right? I don't know. Can't call it like an alcoholic. I will tell you this, man. The Africanos are a very, very vicious, dangerous group, man. Don't sleep on them. You know what I mean? Because you'll be asleep. You know what I mean? When you wake up, you'll be asleep again. Kind of like Joe Pesci. Let me explain something. You know, these vatos are going to go into that yarda. And if you're not up to par and functioning the way you're supposed to, they're going to knock you the fuck out. And hopefully, by the time you wake up and get out of your little coma, guess what? You're going to come back to the yarda and they're going to fuck you up again. Because that's what they do. These vatos are stupid, right? They're crazy. Anyways, you understand what I'm saying. It's war. Okay? And I just wanted to touch on these three groups being the Woods, the Southsiders or Surenos / Surenos, because there are some camaradas there, and the Nortenos coming together as one gente to strive for the betterment of their people. It has come down to that. We are in the year 2022. Sasuke, all the sangre I sacrificed, all the movidas I made. Sasuke, I went to YA for a murder, right? On behalf of fucking my people. I feel like it wasn't for nothing, but man, it could have all been avoided if we would have just seen the light and came together as a gente, period. We're all good, righteous vatos in our own right. Now, I know myself, I'm not active, and I'm not non-active. I'm just a citizen. Sasuke, I have no fucking horse in the race. Sasuke, I have no caballo. I'm doing my own thing. Saskia, I'm a YouTuber. I've done it in that fashion, man. Leave me out of it. My name is Bennett. I'm not trying to be in it. But I will say it's very interesting to see it happen after all these years. And being old and having gray whiskers, I will say, you know what? It's about damn time. I hate the premise of it, though. I hate that it had to come at wartime. I hate that Vatos couldn't just sit back, come together, smarter heads prevailed, and say, you know what? Hey, we're tired of this shit, Holmes. We're cool, man. You guys are white? Yeah, that's right. If you ain't white, you ain't right? Oh, you guys are fucking brown from down south? Orale, but you're brown, Holmes, and that's what matters. And you guys are brown from up north, so I mean, we can get it together, babe. You know what I mean? It's all good. But it's not, that's not the reasoning behind it. The reasoning behind it is war, of course. It seems like war is the catalyst for everything, especially in the California Department of Corrections. I don't know what the fuck's going to go on in other states, man. These type of rules and regulations are not being implemented. They don't have as much SNYers, man. A lot of these yards in a lot of states are basically SNY yards. You just throw everyone out there and let them catfight, right? And then there are a lot of states that really actually function, like Las Vegas, you know what I mean? Nevada, of course, you got Washington. They're active and they function, you know what I mean? Motherfuckers are getting it. But I will tell you, in the state of California, one of the most dangerous states ever, you know what I mean? If I do say so myself, because I've been throughout the system, there's a lot of politics, you know? And there's certain yards you can and cannot go to. So Vatos are going to get there like, Saskia, I don't even, let me look through my, yeah, I could be, wait up, through 06 through 07, we couldn't be here. Yeah, it was briefly in 09, it was a good yard. But in 2011, Saskia went bad again. Oh, let me turn the page. Oh, fuck it, homie, let's party. It's good, right? That's not the way it's going to be. See, it ain't going to be where you have to judge the characters by if they're wearing shoes or chanclas, right? Like back in the days, that was an indication. If you get to a yard that Vatos wearing chanclas, get off, take flight. You know that was a bad yard for your people, man, because ain't no one, everyone's going to be strapped up and booted up and suited up at all times, man. You don't have to get ready, you stay ready. That's just usually how it is. If you see a Vato in chanclas, he's slipping. It's time to slip the clip in and get to spitting. Tipping, right? It is what it is. Or you can go for a rebound like Pippin. However you want to do it, man. At the end of the day, it's an ugly situation. We've been talking about it for the past weeks. A lot of these prison channels have been touching on it, the integration. But I just wanted to say it's a different day now that these three motherfucking dominant groups are together and on the same wavelength. Not necessarily clicked up. I told you, man, they're not clicked up. There is no fucking, hey, Sasuke, sign the contract. Nah, you Nortenos always hold out. Sign the contract. I already know you don't want to conform to Mac Repsito. Sign the pinchy contract. He won. I got it. I'm going to hold it. No, why can't we hold it? No, hey, Wood, why can't we hold it? Hey, brother. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to be the ones to trip out. At the end of the day, that's not the case here. The case is there's a common enemy. There's a threat, Holmes. And when there's a threat to the safety and security of all people that are fucking active, they must rise up against that threat. And that's what's happening. Now, let's speak on the SNY side of things. Let's speak on the non-active side of things. What do you think they're thinking? What do you see over there? I said, right? Oh, man, there's a white guy and a Norteño fucking, oh, shit. I think they're together, man. So why are you looking at me like that? Oh, my eyes are fucked up, right? It's going down. It's big turmoil right now. It's big stress. Everybody's going to get to the yard with gray hair, gray beard, looking like Raiden from Mortal Kombat because they're all stressed out, right? But definitely knives are going to fly, things are going to happen. And I just wanted to let you know the tradition and the history of these three groups is not to be slept on. Who's going to win in this battle for the California Department of Correction, Yardas? The CDC is, the administration, because they're going to do whatever they want to do. They're going to do what they does, cuz, you know what I mean? If you thought it wasn't buzzing, well, it is, cousin. That's how it works out, man. But there's going to be plenty of lives lost, plenty of turmoil, plenty of fucking adversity for these people, man. And we need to stand in solidarity as raza out here, as gente. If we have familia that is incarcerated, I do have my brother and primos that are locked up, man. We need to stand right there, solidarity beside them, man, and let them know, man, that we're here for them. Because they're right now, I'm telling you, gente, it's getting real. Oh, yes, it's getting real ugly. And people are sleeping on it. So, man, we need our voices to be felt. We need to do what we can do to let it be known, man, that this right here is not a good look. Putting these people together is the old Folsom setup, and it's not going to be good. These traditional three groups are not going to play. They're never going to bow down. They're never going to bend. They're never going to break. You know what I mean? The suffering will be real. The Vatos on the other side, I can't speak for these Vatos, but I will say that they are men at the end of the day, and I highly, truly doubt they're going to go out like that as well. Hey, they made one mistake, Saskia. I don't know about making two. Pero you never know. Does one. Anyways, with that being said, I hope that you move fast with a purpose. I hope that you get out there and you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about familia, man. Let's strive together for everybody. And I ain't forgot about Cain Velasquez, who's sitting in that cell right now. Hashtag free Cain. You already know what it is. Don't ever forget, gente, when our people are sitting down, we have to rise up. It's always going to be like that. If you like this message, man, please hit that like and subscribe. If you don't, it's all good in the hood. You can always hit that thumbs down. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue, Spence, I can't even talk. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for my people and do what I does, man. Unite the raza, black and brown, united, divided. We ride it, we're putting it down. You already know what it is. Sprinkle in the white boys. Sprinkle them in. Just for a little flavor. Others, they've already been in the back seat, going on a shotgun. You know how the Asians get down. Bang, bang, the gun.